So we're going to look into what's coming in the first part of 2025 because obviously it's a very big year for Universal. Epic Universe opens May 22nd.
It opens this year. We can finally say it.
It's so
Opens
weird doing
year.
the construction updates and looking at the construction from the time it was dirt to like
From
where it's at now.
years.
And like it's going to be really weird walking through it to be like, oh, I remember like this area from like looking at the pictures. Like I get that way with history stuff. Like I remember we went and saw like where JFK, the assassination was. I'm just like, right. And they have an
Right
X in
here.
the road. You're just like right here. Like, oh, I get that stuff like that kind of gets me. But yeah, so obviously, and then there's some other things opening. So one of the ones, Stella Nova and Terra Luna are opening early part of this year. Stella Nova opening in January this month.
January 21st is when Stella Nova opens. We will be staying the next day, so the 22nd, the 23rd. We had just a weird conflict with our daughter. She's got an event that night, so we can't miss it. So we're just going to push it a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited to check that out.
I am too. I mean, obviously, there's two new value hotels outside of Epic Universe, Stella Nova and Terra Luna. Terra Luna is opening in March now. It was going to open in February. Now it got pushed back to March.
March 25th. We have a stay for that as well.
Yes. But given the park doesn't open until May, I don't know how many people are going to go over here for this, but then you have Helios Grand Hotel. That's the in-park hotel. That's going to be part of Epic when that opens as well. But yeah, I'm curious about these because these are very much, if you look like Dockside and Surfside, it's the very similar model with those. These are technically value plus. So they're not the same type of rooms. They don't have those one-bedroom suites like Dockside and Surfside has. These are all just studio rooms. But you're all talking about value hotels within walking distance of Epic Universe and even I will say, even if you look at pricing when Epic Universe is open, it's under $200.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I've talked about it a lot. I do love Universal's hotels. I do like how they do them. Now Lowe's is a good hotel partner for them. I like how they're their hotel style, not motel style, so interior hallways and things like that. But the thing that I think is a good value is Universal prices their hotels very well. I mean, especially you look over at now Disney's running a lot of discounts right now because obviously of Epic Universe trying to get people over there. But sometimes on the values at Disney, you're going to be paying over $200 per night. So over here in a brand new theme park that if you think about the hotels in which you can walk to a theme park from the hotel, there's contemporary, obviously the ones at Universal on the main side, but those are premieres. So those are expensive. So the fact that you can stay at a value hotel or value plus, whatever you want to call it, and just walk right into Epic Universe, I mean, at that price point, that's kind of wild.
What's the walk, you think? I know this is preliminary information, but like how long do you think it'll take to walk to the front entrance?
5 minutes. It's
That's
not
it?
very far away.
Okay.
I mean, there's walkway. You can take a bus to the front if you would like, but I would say 5 to 10 minutes easy. But I would say probably lean more toward 5 minutes. I mean, it is right there.
Yeah.
So they just installed the Stella Nova signage as well, which is kind of a nice, like futuristic looking sign. It's
Space.
very space. It's not going to be like there's not a lot of bells and whistles. Again, if you look at Dockside Surfside, you got stuff to eat, you got a bar, you got a Starbucks, you got a pool area. It has all of that stuff.
Well, we're going to do a review about it too, so we'll have it on the show.
So it's not going to be, I think a lot of people were like, oh, they're disappointed. But it's like, it's a value hotel outside of Epic Universe. I'm not expecting it to be just like walking into the Taj Mahal. So I think, going into it, I think it'll be kind of cool and neat, but I don't think there's going to be anything that's like an amazing wow factor about it. But the pool area looks cool.
I mean, sure. Yeah. It'll be great.
Yeah. And same thing with like Terra Luna. They're very similar. They're different, but similar hotels.
The same, but different.
Yes, very much. So once that one opens, it'll be, again, Dockside, Surfside, how there's subtle, difference in the pools.
Yeah.
Difference in how like a little bit of the lobby's laid out. We look at the rooms for the most part. They're going to be very similar. And obviously they're right next to each other. Both basically the same walking distance to Epic Universe. And then of course, if you want to go to the, studios and Islands of Adventure, there's bus transportation that will take you there from those as well. So. But yeah, so that's coming early part of this year. Then you got Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
That's coming in
starts
February.
February 1st is when it starts.
I enjoy Mardi Gras.
Although this year's a little shorter, so it only goes until March. Is it March 30th? And this is just a really fun time to go to Universal with the different foods from many different cultures, many different places around the world. But it celebrates the Carnival. Carnival.
It does. This is probably the closest Universal, well, I would say easily the closest thing they have to like food and wine.
Yeah.
The food here and the things that they do, like the event as a whole, does seem to get better each year. So I will give them credit. There was a few years ago, it was very hit or miss in terms of the food quality, how long it would take for the food. But last year ran much smoother. Some of the food items aren't great, but I do think it is getting better. I think they are definitely putting a lot of effort and energy into these types of things. So I do wonder as they, continue to grow, do they do more festivals like this? Because
I don't know.
it's I enjoy. I mean, obviously they're setting it up in studio side, so like they're in the existing park side. So I feel like it's something that, unlike at Disney when you go to World Showcase, like obviously you have to walk all the way back there, and really you have to walk around the World Showcase. These are already in areas. So if you didn't even know this was going on, you may be like, oh, let's check out this food booth. Like it just gives you extra food options. You can check out kind of a party atmosphere. So I enjoy it. And obviously you've got the parade where you can sign up if you're, be part of the parade, which we've done the last few years, which has been a good time.
I love that parade. It is so fun. And being a float rider, like you said, toss those beads.
Well, our daughter did it last year and she loved it.
Guess who's tall enough?
I was going to say our son's probably tall enough this year.
Our son is tall enough to do it this year. So we're going to do it. We're all four going to do it this time. And I am so happy.
If you're telling him he can throw stuff freely at people, I think he's all on board.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So I think we're gonna. Jared and I are gonna stop by for a few hours on the 2nd. We've got a meet up for Club 32 over at Disney on that weekend. So before we come home on that Sunday, we're just gonna stop by for a little bit and check out Mardi Gras. Sans kids, because it's harder to do all the food stuff with them.
A little more difficult.
But then a couple weeks later, we have a stay at Hard Rock Hotel. We're going to do another review of that because it's been a couple of years. And we'll probably do the float riding then with the kids.
Yeah.
And do another review of that. So should be good. I love that festival. I love it.
It is good. I think they shortened it a little bit this year, which I think is good. I feel like the last few years it's kind of gone on a little too long.
So I want to say it was 21 or 22. It was the first year they brought it back. And I believe it was like 3 months long.
Yeah.
It was too much.
I think Disney's learned this lesson too with food and wine, but I definitely think having a festival that is not too, it's not too short but not too long, I think is good because it does add some urgency to it. And when it goes on too long, it's just like, okay, we're still doing this. So I do feel like a shorter festival is probably a good thing here.
Yeah, last year I think it was until April 7th. This year's a week earlier. So, it's less than 2 months long, and that's fine.
Yeah. But if you've never done this, if you like food festivals and things, it is a very unique one, and Universal is doing much better in these. So I'm really excited to see how much more they improve, because the last few years, it is like year by year, it gets better in terms of how quick the food comes out, the quality of the food. And last year, I mean, obviously not everything's going to be a great thing, but there was no food items that were, like, there were a few years ago where some food items were bad.
Yeah.
And I don't recall any food items last year being like what I would classify as bad. They just,
I'm trying to think. I don't think I remember anything either. No.
Yeah. I mean, there's that one year, I remember it was a chicken biscuit, and the biscuit was, the chicken was cold, and the biscuit was like, it crumbled like it was sand. I don't throw food away. And I just threw it away. I was like, I can't even do this.
That was like 2 years ago. Yeah, that was bad.
But, those things do happen from time to time, but the food quality has got a lot more consistent in that way.
Yeah. And hopefully, we'll be able to go. Hopefully they'll have a pass holder preview for Epic Universe. Do you have any insider info about that, Jared?
I don't have any insider info. They will do something. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a pass holder preview or if it's going to be an actual soft opening. Okay. Depends on how they do that. They are going to do something. They did put in the verbiage, there will be previews for APs. Now, whether or not these are free, whether or not this is a discounted entry, we don't know any details yet. But I have, even though I don't have any inside information, like 100% without a doubt, they are going to do some sort of preview / soft opening, because they're going to want to run the park through its paces with people in there, riding, going through the park, riding on rides, things like that, before it opens to the general public. Yeah. I mean, given how much hype, how much excitement it is for this, I mean, I have no doubt that Epic Universe is going to be a fantastic theme park, perhaps one of the best theme parks in the world. Obviously, I'm not going to say that until we go in there, but it has the potential for that. But they obviously, you don't want to start off having issues day one and the word of mouth isn't good. So they're going to want to work through a lot of those kinks. Now, a lot of the rides have been doing ride testing for almost a year at this point. So the rides have a lot of paces run through them already, but things are different when you have crowds. It's like, how do they move to the park? Like, how do the rides do? So I definitely think they will do that. How they'll set it up, I don't know. When it will start, I don't know that either. If I were to guess, park opens in May. I would say you're looking at the latest they would start some AP previews to be like March.
I was thinking April. I was. Because before APs would be cast team members. Before that would be media. Before that would be, higher ups probably. So I don't know.
I say March because the rumor I have heard is there would be multiple months of previews.
Oh, okay.
Just for the same reason I just said, working everything through and everything like that. So I guess I should phrase that. March, probably April being the latest, but I definitely, they are going to have some sort of previews with this for sure.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that we'll keep an eye out on, and we know anything, we'll obviously talk about it on here, but yeah. So we also have my brother and his family. They're coming into Florida around April, so we're going to do some stuff with them, with the kids and the cousins, so that's always a good time.
Staying at a premier resort because they are, and we have to have the express pass as well. So that's why we're doing that.
When somebody has unlimited express, you're like, well, okay.
You're like, I gotta get it too.
Well, my brother hadn't been to Universal. He hasn't been since the Wizarding World stuff's been built.
Oh,
so I think the last time he was there was when we went back in long ago. We came down and see my dad, and we came in, and so he's been a long time since he's been.
I told him, I was like, you're gonna love Hagrid's, you're gonna love Velocicoaster. Get ready, you're gonna want to do those all the time.
He's a big roller coaster person.
Yeah. So I can have somebody to ride Velocicoaster with me.
Oh, he'll ride Velocicoaster. Yeah. No, it'll be good. I mean, I wish he could. I'm a little bummed. More than likely, unless something else happens, he won't be able to check out Epic, because I know he wants to check out Epic Universe. But yeah, I think that'll be a good thing to be able to do that. And then obviously Epic Universe opens in May 22nd. And we've got opening day and second day tickets for that.
We do.
So I'm very excited to check that out as that park comes open and check all that. And now I am curious as to when they're going to open up single day tickets just to the general public. I kind of figured at this point they already would have done that, but they haven't done that as of yet. But they did say before the park opens that there would be like single day ticket options.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know.
I think they're just trying to milk those packages for as much as they can, because they're really trying to incentivize people to stay for 3-4 nights for sure. I mean, they're trying to leverage the popularity of Epic Universe to really eat into that market share with Disney.
And you're talking about the packages where you have like 3, 4, 5 days at Islands and Universal Studios, and then just one day at Epic.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, like, obviously people want to do more than one day. So I think what a lot of people probably will do a 2 or 3 day package, includes Epic, and then once you can add on a single day, they may just add an extra day onto their trip. But as of right now, all of the packages include just one day at Epic Universe.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of, obviously, if you've seen the construction update videos that we've done over on YouTube and everything like that, like there's obviously a lot of anticipation, very excited for it. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a fantastic park. And I just want to walk around it. I just want to check out the stuff and just the day one, I might just walk around a lot. Maybe the second day, try and ride more stuff. And I don't know, people ask me like, oh, the crowd's going to be crazy. I'm guessing probably. Mm-hmm. I guess the question it really comes down to is like, what is their max capacity for Epic Universe going to be, and how's that look like for because they are controlling crowds a lot with not a park reservation system by the certain amount of tickets that they're selling. So annual pass holder single day tickets have been sold out for like all of May, part of June. So obviously you can still get in there with like a ticket package and things, but I am curious like what a full day looks like there. How do the ride, how's everything flow? Like obviously it's a brand new park, so you don't know any, going into it, there's just no even like presumed way to go about it really, because you just have to kind of go in there and check it out. But I'm excited. I like that. It's like
do we start with?
It's like a fresh slate. Like where do you start? Where do you go? Like try different things. But
all right, before we end this episode, I have to ask you.
Okay.
First day, let's say we're doing previews. Let's say we've got previews reserved or however that looks. And the first time we walk in, what is the first land you're wanting to go to?
Oh, Super Nintendo World.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
that's number one.
I mean, I've wanted to go to Super Nintendo World for years. Yeah. And Nintendo growing up, I mean, especially for like not only me, but like our daughter, even our son enjoys Nintendo and Mario and all that stuff like that. So I definitely want to check out Super Nintendo World. Second, I mean, honestly, Dark Universe at night. I want to see.
It's gonna be so spooky.
Yeah, like I'm tempted like to leave that to the so maybe like Super Nintendo World, then check out Ministry of
World.
Magic. Go check out How to Train Your Dragon, and then at night go into Dark Universe. I feel like that may be a way to go for it. And I'm excited about Celestial Park too. This sounds really cool. Like I think the kids will really enjoy the carousel.
Yeah.
Just the aspects of that. So
Yeah.
I mean, the first one though, I'm just at least day one. I'm going Super Nintendo.
So because I love you, I will also go to Super Nintendo.
I mean, you don't have to.
No,
I'll
of
go
course
there
I
by
will.
myself if I need to.
No, you're right. I think you should save Dark Universe till the evening. Absolutely.
I do wonder about that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that if we, for whatever reason, we run out of time, we can't do everything that first day, then we'll definitely wait to the second day to do like How to Train Your Dragon because our kids will be with us that second day.
Yeah, they'll enjoy that.
Because they're
one a
not
lot.
going with us on the first day, just the second day. You know, the first day is going to be a lot of like pictures and videos and stuff. And it's like, you don't have to be there for that, guys.
Yeah.
So
I do wonder about Dark Universe if I feel like it's going to be a land where everybody wants to go to at night. So I do wonder during the day you may see lower wait times for things just because it seems like a land that was just built for night.
I know, but that's the place. I mean, that's the time to go. That's when I want to go, you know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I know it'll be busy, but still.
Yeah. But I mean, it's got like fog effects and all this stuff in there. Like I mean, there's.
The music will be creepy.
And just how spooky is, the Frankenstein experiment ride. I mean, they're kind of billing it as like a spooky, like, I kind of look at it as like a more intense, spooky version of Forbidden Journey. It's the same ride system. Well, it's got more animatronics and things like that, but yeah.
Question, and this is another question, Disney versus Universal. I know some people don't like that, but I do have this question.
Fight it out, I say.
Do you think that when Disney realized that Universal was developing this Dark Universe land, that it was based on monsters, it was based on scary stuff, Disney was like, okay, do you think we can take a chance on villain stuff and actually start putting it in our parks? Like being like the scare factor, it's more suspenseful, it's more scary. Do you think they made them more brave?
Very possible. I mean, there has been rumors about a villain's land or a villain's theme park with Disney for a decade or longer at this point. So
do you think they've been developing it longer?
Well,
than that?
I think they may have had the idea, but maybe not wanting to pull the trigger because they're like, I don't know, like it's because it's different for Disney. Now, I think seeing Dark Universe, it very well could have been like, okay, yeah, let's do this because I do think when I first heard about Dark Universe, I was just like, I don't know about like I know of the Universal monsters, but I'm like I don't really care. But the more stuff you see about it, like how the people talking about it, like how excited they are and all the aspects of it, like I'm genuinely excited. I didn't think I would be.
Yeah.
And I mean,
the theming is insane.
Yeah. Well,
even just looking at pictures and video from aerial view, you can see like the cobblestones and you can see the detailing on like the doors that open to the manor.
Well, I think the thing that's going to make it really spooky is this. I don't know if it has the most, but it's got a ton of trees in this area.
Okay.
And at night, I can only imagine with like kind of the dark, spooky vibe already, but like all those trees, it's going to feel like you're kind of like in a forest almost. I kind of feel like it's going to add a spooky vibe to it, a spookier vibe to it. Now, I do know there is somebody that follows us on Instagram that is part of Disney Imagineering that has said they're going to go check out Dark Universe.
Absolutely.
For notes, and they're going to do that. So now I do think Disney has a harder time because Universal, they've even said this is like a PG-13 land. They're not as beholden to being like they can do family friendly stuff, but like they can also be a little bit more adventurous just because they're just different like that. Like they don't have the same expectations.
A la Halloween Horror Nights.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Disney is going to have a harder time, and I've talked about this before, of like really threading that needle between family friendly and too dark.
I think it's the same thing they did with pirates. Whereas, you take an actual real pirate, it's nothing like a Disney pirate. So I think that'll be like, a real villain, a real like scary thing isn't a Disney scary. They can thread that needle a little bit.
Yeah,
easier.
but I mean, some of the villains though, like the reason like a lot of these villains work in the movies is because they're offset by a hero positive aspect. You know what I mean? Like Mother Gothel is a horrible human being.
We have heard.
She is literally the worst of the worst. Like, so you just have nothing but villains in here. Like, that's the thing that I will say. I was like, I am curious as to how they go about doing that, because you do set it up where like little kids are like, no, it's too scary. I don't want to do that.
Oh, this land is for the adults.
See, and that's part of my issue though, is like, I don't know if that's a good thing to just,
I don't know. But
We'll see.
I was just, it's just a throwaway question about that. But
I mean, considering how Disney's been reacting to Universal for basically like 15 years now almost, or
Yeah.
I should say 10 years, whatever. I think more than likely, if I were to guess, they probably saw that and were just like, yeah, we could do that. We've had this idea for a while. And I do think the Villain's Land is probably the thing that has the most potential for Disney. And the fact that they're doing that one the last, I think is kind of a mistake. But people have wanted it. People like the villain stuff. So I think it has a lot of potential.
By the way, I caught a POV of the Donkey Kong ride, the minecart ride in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. It looks so cool. It doesn't go very fast, but it looks so cool. Like,
Well-
there's so many elements to it. I won't say anything about it, but I've said there's so many elements to it where I was like, okay, even though it doesn't go very, very fast, it's thrilling. Like, it's still like, oh.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people they're disappointed and they're saying it wasn't thrilling enough. I'm like, well, first off, hold on. It's a family roller coaster.
Yeah, this is
It's
for kids.
Nintendo.
Right.
Like, they're not going to do like Velocicoaster here. And the whole point is
Right.
like to be like kind of in the Donkey Kong games with jumping gaps in the track. Now, I do think even if it is a slower ride, being on it is going to feel different than just watching a POV version of it, because it's going to make
sure.
you're going to be like, oh, we're jumping a gap in the track, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But either way, I love Donkey Kong. I love Nintendo.
Yeah.
I
That'll be
think this
so
is going to be a
fun.
very popular ride. Now, I do have questions about the ride capacity here, because each train only holds 4. How quickly do people move through this line?
Oh.
Because it's got that sidearm that holds it, so it doesn't hold a ton there. So
Right,
that,
right.
and I have a question. Now, it is an Omni Mover though. If you've seen the one in Japan, it kind of keeps going.
I didn't see that
kind of
part.
like Hagrid's.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I'm very curious as to like how long is the
Yeah.
wait going to be, because I do think it's going to be very popular for that reason. But it's going to be all ages, and I think everybody will enjoy it. So I'm looking forward
so
to it.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And our daughter, she plays, Mario stuff all the time, and the Mario Kart ride and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and then you got the mini games in there. So I mean, probably you could spend all day in Super Nintendo World if you
Yeah.
wanted to. But
Our kids are like such good ages for this new park, especially our
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah.
Especially our daughter.
what would be would Dark Universe be the land you would want to go to first?
Well, I was going to say yes, but I want to wait till the night.
Right.
So, I mean, Super Nintendo, obviously, yes, and you're already basically walking through Celestial Park. But besides that, I'd say, Battle of the Ministry.
I'm curious about that ride. They've been so hush hush
Yeah.
about it, like how
I know.
like it's the rumor is it's multiple different ride manufacturers working
Yeah.
on the ride. The scale of it's crazy. Like I'm very curious about that ride.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm excited for. So.
What's the one ride you're looking the most forward to, you think?
the Monsters Unchained?
Yeah.
That one in the Manor, the Frankenstein one. Ooh,
Yeah.
that one's gonna be awesome.
I agree.
Awesome.
Those animatronics look kind of
Yeah,
wild.
I'm actually excited for a few, like that one in the Battle of Mystery, Donkey Kong, even the roller coaster, which I've blanked on the name now, in Isle of Bark. What's it called?
Oh,
Flyers? Something Flyers?
Hiccup's Wing Gliders.
Wing Gliders. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I call
like,
that one Baby Hagrid's.
Baby Hagrid.
It's very similar to Hagrid's.
Where it looks like you're like going underwater, but you're not.
Mhm. Going through different like show set pieces, kind of like Hagrid's does. It's very
Yeah.
similar to. I don't think it's gonna be as fast as Hagrid's,
Right.
but it's very similar.
Hey, I'm not every roller coaster has to be thrilling.
Oh, I mean, it'll be. I think it'll be thrilling. I just don't think it's gonna be as thrilling as Hagrid's or like as
Yeah.
fast.
Or Starfall. Is it still Starfall?
Stardust Racers.
Oh, I'm gonna still call it Starfall.
Yeah.
Stardust Racers, the roller coaster that's in Celestial Park.
Mm-hmm.
That really, really cool looking carousel.
Constellation.
Constellation.
Carousel.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
you know
that-
all this stuff.
I think it'll be a cool. Yeah, I think at night
Yeah.
that's gonna look really cool for
Yeah.
sure.
So, yeah.
I mean,
I'm
Viking
excited.
Training Camp. I think our kids are gonna love that. Mm-hmm. So I think How to Train Your Dragon Land will be one I'll really enjoy, even though I don't know a lot about How to Train Your Dragon, but it's Vikings and dragons. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm already on board.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's really nothing about the park that I just think is like, meh. Like I really do think all of it looks great, and I'm
Yeah.
just very curious to just see what it's all like and what the ride's like, what are the wait, how's everything look feel when it's open compared to just looking at construction pictures.
This will be great for you. All you do is look at the construction pictures.
I look at a lot of them.
Now you're like, oh, it's real.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to add about Epic Universe?
No, just excited for 2025 so much in Universal. So very excited.
Same. And I've made this before prediction. I think Universal's probably looking at 40% plus increase in their attendance from all this, if I were to guess. So Universal's going to be very busy. I think if you're looking to go to Universal, if you don't want to mess with Epic Universe, first part of 2025 may not be too bad because I think it's going to start looking a lot leaner around there as people, especially get closer to Epic Universe, because most people are just going to wait to go once that's open.
Yeah.
So you could get potentially some pretty decent deals as well first part of the year, because I think that is the time period they're going to have an issue trying to get people into the parks, obviously.
Yeah.